All right, we are here again on What's Trending on DDM Television. I am Oppress, otherwise known as Tochukwu Raphael. Of course, I am joined by amazing persons here. On my left, I have Mr. Kwechiri, and I have Mrs. Derechuku. All right. Social media has been resounding with a viral video showing a Christian pastor who was flogging a female member for allegedly, or should I say reportedly, allowing her child to disrupt the church activities. Now, this viral clip has sparked tension across social media handles, causing a debate over the true intention or the roles of religion in the society. Now, let me allow you to watch this video. We shall be right back to dissect what happened. We shall be right back.
Jesus. Jesus.
Mama.
All right, you're welcome back on DDM. What's trending?
Very sad indeed.
I hope you saw. This is not something that is unprecedented in Nigeria. It has been a reoccurrence in our society. But the question I want to ask, there are two questions I want to ask. First of all, what I noticed when watching that video, what was the intention of the person videoing that video? That whole scene. Is the person a member of the church or what? What was his intention, Mr. Kwechiri?
Yeah, interesting. Honestly, I feel bad because it's something that shouldn't even be happening, So, but the person covering such thing, I think maybe just for the archive's sake, it wasn't meant to maybe escalate this way. You understand? Maybe the person did it, send it to somebody sent it to somebody, and your best friend might be another person's best friend. And that is how it all went out. But it's too bad. It still makes it very clear that if you want to hide anything from the black man, just write it down. Because if that woman, I was aware, if she was aware, nobody would flog you. Can my husband flog her at home? You see the size of that woman.
Very funny.
That woman is hefty. Hefty woman stretching out her hand. What will her child say?
A mother.
So it's very sad, very sad. And the man who married such a person, be careful.
All right, wait. What's your reaction, Mrs. Derechu?
It's all shades of wrong. All shades. How can you flog a mother, somebody's wife, in church, in front of the whole congregation? Why? She did not steal. She did not commit any big crime, just that her child cried in the church. It doesn't make sense.
Very sad. Because we are talking about the cause of what happened. A child. I thought they said that children are gifts from heaven. And at that stage, that level of, should I say, development, they know nothing.
Yeah.
So why should you punish your female member because of that? That is crazy. But what does it tell about the religion that we have in Nigeria, Mr. Kwechiri? What does it tell about the true intention of most churches? Are they here to help to develop the society, or are they injecting a kind of, abstract something? I don't know.
I feel like the men of God, the pastors or whoever that are in charge of any aspect of a church, they are trying to mimic Christ himself. Like they want to be worshipped. They want to be the author and finisher of everything. So I see no reason why in a church the child cries. Same child, maybe when that child was born, a dedication was held in that same church, dedicating the child to God. The mother wanting to raise the child in a way that when the child grows, the child will not depart from it. Brings this child to church, probably on a Sunday service or on a Wednesday service. The child now cries out. You know that the only means of communication is cry out. In a church that is not air conditioned, properly ventilated, people stacked different orders and all that, and maybe the child cries out, and you're now punishing the mother. No, it is not right. So I think that anything worth doing is worth doing well. If you want to worship God, do it in truth and in spirit, and such actions does not portray the Christian virtue of a gathering of brethren. So I feel that particular scene, that particular place is not a house of God. It's a house of man for me. So
House of man.
House of man for me. Just that the members maybe are too naive, or they've invested so much, or maybe their love for God has clouded their sense of reasoning. And they are no longer looking at the messenger, but listening to the message. So that's how I see it.
But I feel that in Nigeria there are two great institutions, powerful institutions. We have the religious institutions and the political institutions. And some people are like, these both institutions interact. They share the same similarity in terms of having or wielding a lot of power over a group of people, a large number of people. We have so many churches in Nigeria. But what I want to ask is, why are people following a particular person they regard as a minister of God? Why are they following these people sheepishly? They don't ask questions. They just, anything they are told, they grab it hook, line, and sinker. Why is that so?
I believe there are Christians that don't actually understand what it is to be a Christian. You know, some people, they follow their pastors, living the Christ that they are supposed to emulate or follow. Do you understand? And Christianity is not just a place where you just go to, or a church. Church is not even like a symbol of you going to church all the time doesn't make you a Christian.
Of course.
Do you understand what I mean? So Christianity is not just about going to church or a place where you go to praise God. No, Christianity it's a conviction in you that, okay, I am a Christian. I want to be Christ-like. I am a follower of Christ. Do you understand? It's not just about going to church. It's about that personal experience. It's an experience with Christ. It's that personal experience, knowing Christ for yourself. Do you understand? When you don't have that personal experience that, I know this, it's not just about what I'm reading in the Bible or what they are preaching in the church. When you know Christ, when you've experienced Him, you find out that you will not be easily swayed by whatever is happening out there. Someone cannot just come and tell you this and you just, believe, hook, line, and sinker. No.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So a whole lot of people don't even know what it is to be a Christian. That's why they are just falling for anybody that just appears on their screen and say, I'm a pastor. They just follow. Some of them have turned the church to comedy shows. Some of them have turned the church into something else where you just... I can remember when I was much younger, when we were growing up, there was this church, I don't want to mention the name, my mom used to take us to.
Don't mention the name, just...
And when they are praying, doing deliverance, they will beat the hell out of you.
The pastor will beat.
And his disciples. He has disciples.
Apostles.
They will beat the hell out of you all in the name of deliverance. And when you are screaming because they are beating you. They will not say that you are screaming because of the evil spirit in you. They will not increase the beating.
Yes, but we have the master beater, Abido Cheka. He's a master beater in that. He's skilled in it.
So, all in the name of deliverance. There's nothing wrong with you. It's because of the deliverance. If you mistakenly scratch your hair, they will shave off that part of your hair. That's where the demon is.
Very sad.
And they will pour like a full gallon of olive oil on you, anointing oil, according to them, on you. You know, all these things are just, I don't even know what to call it.
Oh, of course, you have said all the everything, but somebody said mental slavery. That is a word so huge. One word that could describe the situation in Nigeria.
Yes.
What do you think, Bachiri?
Yeah, mental slavery. The person is not wrong. The person is correct, because somebody who knows who or what he or she is will not just fall to such a scam. So it is about the programming. You've been tricked into believing that this is this, that this is this, that this is this. So subconsciously, most of these people with a clouded mindset, not exposed to experience and all, they now limit themselves to that point. That is how somebody, you will go to a particular environment and you tell somebody, or you see a child say, daddy, I will be the first person to buy a car in this family. The father will be like, shut up, shoot their size. Because there is a limit to their thinking. Like, how will you get a car? Excuse me. How will you get a car? Which job? Which education will give you that? Do you understand? Parents or people who don't understand how the world works now. So they've limited themselves, and the only place of hope is on what scripture says. And the person reading it to them or giving them an interpretation is just doing it one-sided, wanting to always extort from them. And excuse me, sorry. And to that regard, or to that effect, they always look up to that person at every point in time to tell them something befitting for their soul at that point. And to them, they will hold on to it, cling on to it, believing that something good is going to happen to them when they are not putting in the work. So mentally, they've been changed. It's just like somebody hoping that one day one day they're going to get a miracle alert. Man, I write codes. And I know that if I write code, I test my codes. Even banks don't even have the power to add numbers. Everything comes from CBN. So how will the miracle money come in? So you see, and somebody will be there raising their phone. You will see a clip. For you to get such a blessing, come and give the Lord a provoking seed. You see, somebody who has not worked but believe that because the birds of the air feed without working, will come and sow. Forgetting that the birds of the sea need to walk, they will fly around and it's walk until they see food, then they now feed. It's not as if they are somewhere and the food comes. Yeah. So it's when you package this lie and make somebody believe it, and then go ahead to do one or two abracadabra, and then show it that way, you see, you have a lot of people in that category. And just like you said earlier, the religious institution and the government institution.
Political institution.
The political institution weaponize poverty for the religious institution to keep on giving the people hope. So you cannot see the political saying that the church is doing bad. You can't see the church calling out the political. They can't because if the political should give out one policy, all pastors they will go and look for jobs.
Wow. I love it. Exactly.
But they can't. So they will tell, oh boy, mind your lane. Oh boy, mind your lane. This one is going. If this one wants to win an election, you come here, do small show. All these people will vote for him, hoping that he's the future, he's the next big thing. When he gets there, he does the same thing. He will weaponize poverty more. And we hope that way our mindset, my brother, now who chop they think, now belly they control brain. If the government does not give you good policies to ensure that you can be able to fend for yourself, you can't think. And if there's no food, you can't think. So if you can't think, you will be here hoping that one day the world will come to an end. Both the rich and the poor will die, and you, poor, go to heaven. The rich will die and go to hell. They will be laughing, say, continue thinking. Do you understand? Yeah. So mental slavery, yes, it is what it is. Everybody does it. Everybody that wants to, mind control, yes. Even for a father, you will tell you. I remember when my mother was teaching me how to cook. She said, you see onions, you see carrots. These two things, now for where they shit, and they plant. So before you cook it, ensure you wash it well with salt and warm water. I said, yes, ma'am. So before I cook, I don't eat onions. Raw onions, I don't eat it. So before I cook, I slice the head like this one, I wash it, I peel it layer by layer, wash it, then I now slice to cook. That mindset made me to thoroughly wash everything well before cooking. Until then I got to secondary school, getting to learn how, I was like, hey! But some persons won't get the opportunity to evolve. With that mindset of control, they go with it and then pass it on to younger ones. That is how poverty spreads. And that is how such things, because the child seeing the mother being flogged means the child will also accept to be flogged in the same church. And who knows, maybe it's the church that is paying her rent, or maybe she's a widow or something, and such things will keep on going. If she disobeys, she loses the benefit. After all, Christ is the goal, heaven is the goal. So she might say that, fine, it's my penance for not taking care of this child is disturbing, I accept, flog me, cease. So it still boils down to that mental slavery. You understand me? So it's there, it's real, it's existing. Everybody uses it. The pastors use it. Why is it? Okay. So why do you have this saying? If the pastors need something, the members will contribute. But if the members need something, they say, let's pray to God. Now I see it now.
Yeah, you have given a very insightful contribution because I come to think of it.
Okay.
Why do politicians consistently, deliberately perpetrate poverty in the country? The reason is very simple, so that it will afford the members of Nigeria, the citizens, opportunity to move to the other institution, religious institution. They will start praying and all that. Yeah. Why these leaders of this institution will be, streaming money into their accounts.
Yeah.
So these political institutions and religions, they work hand in hand.
Yes.
So this is very sad situation we have had or we have in Nigeria today. But how do we solve the problem? How do we now solve the problem? It's a very tough situation, almost unsalvageable.
Churches are actually stepping up now. There are churches that are now doing very well.
In terms of what?
In terms of owning businesses, in terms of helping their members. Yes. Before they used to associate church with poverty. That's why they will call you a church rat.
Yeah.
You understand what I mean?
Church mouse.
So, but now, I don't think you can associate churches with poverty anymore. We have churches that are doing very well. Very, very well. I think, just like I said, the church is breaking out of that, Churches are now owning businesses. Churches are now making waves, doing big things that they don't used to do before. So, I don't think I don't think the church is now a tool for politicians anymore.
So they are making
you can say some that have refused to evolve. Some that have refused to evolve, but most churches now
are doing well.
Yeah.
Do you believe that most churches? Because for me, some would disagree with the opposition, or that the church are progressing. Churches are progressing, yes. But the progress, the proceeds, or should I say, the raw materials are gotten from members of the church. For example, in the Catholic Church, I know that, of course, the Catholic Church is trying, but there are some schools owned by the Catholic Church that poor people cannot be in that school.
Yeah, I for one, I remember when I was about entering secondary school, my my dad took me to a mission school, and the school fees there was huge at that time. So it was like he knows what he wants to achieve. Because when it comes to academics, I don't have an issue, but he wouldn't want me to have a character problem based on the environment where we were. So he needed me to go to a school where morals are actually passed. You understand? So that for one, I give it to schools owned by religious institutions.
Okay.
Yes. So in that aspect, they are doing a very good job. And once you come out of that place, you are going to be sound morally. And if you happen to get a job, if you are if you have an idea, you can from there start. Because you will be raised with the with the basics that every well-to-do child must have in terms of character, in terms of hard work, in terms of being God-fearing. Discipline, yes. Very, very importantly, discipline. Having time for everything, having a schedule. So that is where I know the church, and in the Catholic Church, is actually doing a very good job. But other Pentecostals, in fact, they are for the high and mighty.
Which one?
Let's say for instance, this school owned by what's the name of this pastor? Not Madonna. No, not Madonna. Not Madonna. I mean, Madonna is still affordable compared to.
Is it Deeper Life?
From where? No, not Komi. This is a private university.
It's a Catholic university.
Covenant, yes.
Covenant.
University.
Covenant.
University. I think it's. I mean, what's his
Covenant.
name?
Is it not Deeper Life?
No, Redeem.
Redeem. Yes.
Okay.
How many? We know that Redeem is on every street, and I know that it is from those. That school was built. But how many of those people can afford it? It's still for the high and mighty. So we need to actually look into it. And then
But would you blame the church? Is it not the government that is to be blamed for not providing good education for the people? You don't blame the church.
Yes.
The church wouldn't want to provide a substantial education, or there's a level the church will want to attain when it comes to education, and it doesn't come cheap.
Yes.
It doesn't come cheap.
Yeah, it doesn't come cheap, but considering the fact that it's a church and
it's a private university. When you go to a private university, their hostels, you cannot compare the hostel of a private university to the hostel of a government public university. You can't compare Unibank's hostel to Covenant University hostel.
Yeah.
But it is money.
Yeah.
All those things, it's money. Money is required to keep up that standard. Do you understand? And now churches, gone are the days whereby churches will expect their members to sit down and pray for magic money, miracle money to appear. No, they encourage everybody go and work.
Yeah.
Do something. Members are no longer poor. Christians are no longer poor.
Yeah, Christians who understand.
Christians are working.
Yeah.
Christians are money. We are no longer poor. So when we make that money, we want the best for our children.
Well, yeah, but what are we going to call this lady who received some strokes of the cane?
That one is that one is living what I don't even understand what I don't even understand what to call it. Because you can't if you don't want a child to make noise in the church, then provide it. Thank you, kids section in the church, whereby mothers can take their suckling mothers or can take their babies to that area and tend to their babies. In order not to create noise or whatever disruptions during the service. So you cannot pack mothers, teenagers, fathers, or everybody in one space and expect the place to be calm. No,
impossible.
it's impossible.
All right, guys, I've heard your contributions. Thank you very much for raising this program. Viewers, what do you think about that? For me, it is hilarious, but it is more than that. It is a serious thing, especially in this part of the world. But let's have your comments, your opinions in the comment section. I am Tochukwu Raphael. Mr. Kwechiri, thank you for raising this program. Mrs. Derechukwu,
Thank you.
very beautiful woman. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. If you like this video, do not hesitate to hit the like button, make your comments, share this video, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more exciting topics. From me, I am Tochukwu Raphael. Tochukwu Raphael, Oppress saying, have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Hi.